Welcome back. This week, we are diving deep into what can only be described as a full-blown gold rush in the semiconductor industry. And the new gold? It's AI. The race to mine it is literally reshaping everything.
So let's start right at the epicenter of this whole thing, TSMC, the biggest chip maker on the planet. Even its own CEO, C.C. Wei, admitted he was a little skeptical about all the AI hype at first. But then he saw the numbers, he met with the customers, and his conclusion was simple. The demand isn't just hype, it is very, very real.
And how exactly do you respond when the demand is real? Well, you respond with real money, and I mean a lot of it. TSMC just dropped its capital expenditure plan for 2026, and it's a staggering $56 billion. That's not just an increase, that's a massive statement of intent.
Yeah, a number like that sends an absolute shockwave through the entire supply chain. It's a clear signal that this isn't just a trend. The industry is in an all-out sprint to build the fundamental infrastructure that's going to power the next decade of AI.
So with this unbelievable, insatiable demand, the big question is, who's actually going to build the massive factories, the foundries, that are forging all this new AI gold? Let's take a look at the key players in this fight.
And this really gets to the core of the problem. TSMC is, in their own words, overwhelmed. Even with this historic investment, they're telling everyone that supply is going to be tight all year long. This AI frenzy is pushing the market leader to its absolute limits.
And all that pressure? Well, it creates a massive opening for competitors. While TSMC's customers are paying insane premiums, sometimes double the price, just to get a spot in line, the challengers are making some serious moves. You've got Intel, who's gunning to become the #2 foundry in the world. And Samsung is making real progress, hitting 50% yields on its next-gen 2nm process. That means half the chips they make are coming out perfect, which is a huge leap forward.
You have to love this quote from TSMC's CEO, though. It just perfectly captures the tension in the market right now. He's not pulling any punches, basically saying that Intel's strategy of just throwing money at the problem isn't going to be enough. He's betting that TSMC's decades of experience and its entire ecosystem are what really count.
But here's the thing, these super powerful AI processors are only one part of the puzzle. An engine is completely useless without fuel, right? Well, this boom is also kicking off a revolution in the memory chips that feed these AI engines a constant, massive stream of data.
And the innovation happening here is just incredible. We're seeing DRAM prices surge because suppliers are holding back inventory, expecting even higher demand soon. Companies like SK Hynix are pushing the envelope, showing off brand new HBM4 memory for AI accelerators and even a new type of NAND storage that's 20 times faster. We're even hearing about breakthrough tech like hybrid bonding that could be inside NVIDIA GPUs in just a few years. It's wild.
Okay, so it's really easy to get lost in all of the technical specs here, right? HBM4, 5-bit NAND, what does any of this actually mean? Why is this memory race so incredibly important for the future of AI?
So here's the bottom line. Bigger, faster memory lets AI models chew through enormous data sets almost instantly. This isn't just a small step up. This is the key that unlocks the next generation of AI capabilities. We're talking everything from way smarter personal assistants to solving incredibly complex scientific problems.
Now, a gold rush this big, it doesn't just change companies. It redraws the entire global map. Nations are now staking their claims in what's become a very high-stakes geopolitical game for chip supremacy.
And the stakes really don't get much higher than this. $500 billion. Let that sink in for a second. That is the absolutely staggering amount that TSMC and the Taiwanese government are planning to pour into U.S. chip-making facilities, mostly centered in Arizona.
But, and this is a big but, there's a catch. This slide lays out Taiwan's strategic N2 policy. It's basically a law that says any chip factory they build overseas has to be 2 generations behind the technology they're using back home. So even with that $500 billion investment, the most advanced cutting-edge chips still won't be made on U.S. soil.
And that policy creates a huge dilemma because, as you can see, a whopping 70% of TSMC's customers are American companies. We're talking Apple, NVIDIA, companies that need the absolute best of the best. And because of this policy, those top-tier chips will continue to be made exclusively offshore.
And if that wasn't complicated enough, the U.S. is shifting its trade strategy. Instead of these broad, sweeping tariffs, the government is now trying to negotiate separate deals, country by country. This just adds a whole new layer of chaos and unpredictability to the global supply chain.
So it's literally trillions of dollars and national security on the line. The innovation isn't just happening in the chips themselves, but in how they're made.
So what new tools are being invented for this AI gold rush?
One of the most mind-bending concepts that's starting to emerge is this idea of an AI factory. Think about this. It's a self-sufficient AI that can design the next generation of chips all by itself, potentially making the process 20 times faster. It's AI building the tools to make itself even smarter. That's the powerful feedback loop we're talking about.
So after all that, here's a huge takeaway. While the big names like NVIDIA and TSMC get all the headlines, the real hottest trend might be the companies that you don't hear about as much, the ones that supply the manufacturing equipment. Because think about it, in any gold rush, the surest way to get rich is to be the ones selling the picks and shovels.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty provocative thought. This whole race is about so much more than just silicon and profit margins. As nations and corporations bet trillions on this technology, you have to stop and ask, who is actually building and who will ultimately own the future of intelligence itself?